Hello, welcome to 10 Min Daily News Channel. Thank you for watching us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. First, let's have a look at U.S. election news. Former Repier Adam Kinzinger calls former President Trump professional victim, professional whiner, and bellyachre. Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump said that while he hopes that incumbent President Joe Biden remains the Democrat nominee in 2024, he said in an interview that he cannot believe that will be the case. President Biden is staring down a new year with uncertainty over whether he can turn around his dismal polling numbers and low approval ratings in time for the November election. Colorado Secretary of State Gina Griswold receives death threats. Open-border Democrats are forcing a political great replacement in the U.S., attempting to turn the country further to the left with mass immigration, according to former President Donald Trump. A lawsuit aimed at keeping former President Trump off the presidential primary ballot in Virginia has been dismissed, with a federal judge saying the plaintiffs lacked the standing to remove him based on the insurrection clause of the 14th Amendment. Maine Secretary of State targeted in swatting call after removing Trump from ballot. Now, on to Israel-Hamas conflict news. The Israeli military warned that it was stepping up operations in southern Gaza, where hundreds of thousands of people had fled to safety, while hospital officials said Israel bombed an area in the south where it had ordered civilians to seek shelter. Massive Israeli airstrikes in the southern Lebanon. Israeli Air Force conducted airstrikes on the infrastructure and military buildings of the Hezbollah this morning in the area of the village of Ramiyah in southern Lebanon. Netanyahu targets control of Gaza-Egypt border in many months of war on Hamas. Relentless Israeli bombardment continues across Gaza, deepening the humanitarian crisis. The number of Palestinians killed continues to increase as Israel intensifies its attacks across the Gaza Strip. In the past 24 hours, 64 Palestinians were killed and 186 were wounded in Israeli attacks on homes in central Gaza, according to medical sources. At least 16 Palestinians have been detained by Israeli forces in the occupied West Bank in overnight raids, says the Palestinian Prisoners Society. Reports reveal that approximately 300,000 out of 439,000 homes were destroyed in Israeli attacks on Gaza, marking it as the most devastating urban warfare in modern history. Far-right Israeli Minister Bezalel Smotrich says he is in favor of Israeli resettlement of the Gaza Strip after Israel's war on the besieged enclave is over. Qatar tells Israel that Hamas agrees in principle to resume hostage talks, according to a report. A Palestinian has been killed by Israeli fire from a gunboat off the shore of Rafah in the southern Gaza Strip. As Israel digs in for a long war against Hamas in Gaza, the Biden administration has been urging Benjamin Netanyahu's government to scale down offensive operations and focus on the humanitarian crisis in the region. Israeli newspaper Maariv quotes FM Eli Cohen, stating the Israeli government is responsible for the October 7th Hamas attack and calling for an investigation committee to hold those negligent accountable. Israeli control over the Philadelphia corridor between Gaza and Egypt would mean the de facto full reoccupation of the Gaza Strip. Palestine solidarity protesters rally outside the U.S. Embassy in Turkey's Istanbul in solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza. Moving on to Russia-Ukraine war news. Kharkiv under wave of drone attacks on New Year's Eve. In the Ukrainian attack on Belgorod, 131 people were injured, 24 of them died. Ministry of Health of the Russian Federation. Russia has begun retaliating for what it says was an indiscriminate Ukrainian attack on the Russian city of Belgorod on Saturday, which killed dozens of people, including children, according to local officials. Both sides deny targeting civilians. Massive explosions in Kropivnitsky and Kryvyi Rih. Russia launches fresh drone strikes on Ukraine after promising retaliation for Belgorod attack. Other important news. Agence France Presse reports that the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights has said 23 Iran-affiliated fighters were killed in Syria yesterday, in strikes likely carried out by Israel. U.S. says it shot down 2 missiles launched from Houthi-controlled areas. North Korea to launch new satellites, build drones as it warns war inevitable. North Korea says it will launch 3 new spy satellites in 2024. Maersk confirms an attack on its Hangzhou merchant vessel in the southern Red Sea. Maersk pauses Red Sea sailings after Houthi attack on container ship. U.S. forces sink 3 Houthi boats in the Red Sea after attack on Maersk Hangzhou vessel. U.S. Navy helicopters fire at Yemen's Houthi rebels and kill several in latest Red Sea shipping attack. The Biden administration has destabilized Eastern Europe and the Middle East. Retired Brig Gen. Blaine Holt warned Saturday on Newsmax. The problem is we're in a far more dangerous situation than we were this time last year, Holt said. Biden administration bypasses Congress again on emergency weapons sale to Israel. President of China, Xi Jinping, stated that China will surely be reunified in New Year's speech. Scandinavia is boosting its defense spending even as Sweden's NATO entry is stalled. Thank you for watching 10 Min Daily News Channel. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.